So hello and good morning. It's nice to see everyone here virtually on Zoom. Soon enough, I hope to be able to meet you all in person. First off, I'd like to thank you all for joining today. Thank you to Mike for hosting this meeting and to the executive team and the web task force for all your wonderful feedback so far. Jerry and I have been working really hard on the site, and I'm glad you've gotten the chance to take a look at the link that Mike sent out last week. So today for our general board meeting, we'll be doing a high-level virtual tour and taking a look at the pages you may or may not have seen yet. The tour portion will be via PowerPoint presentation, and then for our Q&A part, depending on what your questions are, we'll take a look at your live site. Our agenda today will cover the homepage, navigation, subpages, and finally, I'll be answering any web-related questions you may have. There is one thing I did want to note. We have been continuously updating the site as late as yesterday evening, so some screenshots that you may see here on the presentation may not match exactly what is live on the site now. One of these known examples is wherever you see historic designation and preservation, we've recently changed that to say landmark designation and preservation. So just bear that in mind as we're going along today. All right, so let's get started. We'll jump right in. So to start, here's a snapshot of the homepage hero banner. It features an archived photo that Marcus was able to send us, so thank you, Marcus, for that. You all probably know this, but it is of First Street in the 1940s. Mike was kind enough to give some personal background on this image, which is of a block where pre-war his family owned a florist and nursery, as well as a dry goods store. It will transition on your site to a modern day view of First Street. This serves a couple of purposes. Number one, it's a little visually more interesting than a static image, but also it sets up the theme of your site in that we're really honoring Little Tokyo's history as a way to think about the present and ultimately our future. Now, if we take a closer look at the top navigation, we'll see that some of the categories contain subpages. This is to ensure that it takes no more than 2 clicks to get to a single page. I have made the background black here just for easy visibility, but in real life it will show the hero image as we saw in the last slide. We're going to do a high-level overview first, then dive into each of the pages later. Okay. The About section contains links to our vision, members, and contact page. LTHS Events links out to both current and past events. Under Impact is where we talk about naming projects and landmark designation and preservation. Under Research, we link out to pages for historic seminars and events, as well as the digital archives. Under Ways to Help, we have pages explaining how to donate, become a member, and volunteer. And then next we have Publications, which links directly to the page containing information on your book, the Little Tokyo Reporter film, and the Doga B100 compilation. News goes to a page listing all of your current events and announcements. Shop goes to a page to purchase the Hoppy Codes, t-shirts, and totes. And certainly last but not least is the Donate button, which we will look at more in depth later. And then here at the end, we also have links to your social media and email. Right beneath the fold, we have a link to download the PDF map, which I know we wanted to have available on the site. People can either download it to the computer or load it up conveniently onto their smartphone. Right next to that, we also have the search function, which was also mentioned during the focus group. Typing in a search term will yield a list of related results. We then have the news section, which we decided was going to showcase the latest LTHS events. I was thinking this first spot could always have the information for your next meeting, since I know you're trying to increase new membership. Each of these would link out to their own pages with more information and photos where applicable. Moving right along, we've got a prominent space here on the home page for the naming projects. This links out to its very own page, which we will take a closer look at a little bit later. Next, we feature your lovely faces and a brief message about all of the programs LTHS leads and supports around the city. We also include a link here for people to support LTHS. This is also another page we'll look at specifically later on in this presentation. And then finally, on the home page, we have a few call to action items where we feature a list of historic sites LTHS has led in their designation and preservation. There's a CTA here for the program pages. And lastly, a link here once again for the shop. The bottom footer features the same navigation that we saw at the top, just so people can get to where they need no matter where they are on the page. We also have another search tool down here as well. So now we're going to take a look at the sub-pages of your site. The first one is the vision page. We have a bit about your history here and a mission, as well as a photo and list of board of directors. Now recall that we linked to this page from the homepage banner and in the navigation as well. Next, we highlight the LTHS Executive Committee and board members. We have a list of names and roles here, as well as links to contact us and attend a meeting. The contact page also lives in the About section. Users can easily fill out the form, submit, and LTHS will get notified by email when there are responses. The next section is LTHS Events. This is divided into current and past events. The current section features 4 of the current ongoing LTHS sponsored events. Past events includes everything prior to 2020, as well as specific sections for the naming project and landmark designation and preservation events. As I mentioned previously, each of these will open into their own page with more information and photos. This brings us next to the impact section of your site, which houses the naming projects and landmark designation and preservation sites. On the naming project page, we have a brief introduction on the naming process and a mention that a map of the sites is coming soon. Below that, the various led LTHS naming projects are featured. Each has a summary, a photo, and links to any related galleries and news. News links will open up to a page with photos and more information, as well as social media sharing buttons. The landmark designation and preservation page possesses a similar layout to the naming project page. The designation process is outlined here, along with a coming soon announcement for the map. Your various sites are featured below with all of the same components as we saw previously. We also list the HCM number here. Towards the bottom of the page, we list HCM designation sites led by LTHS partner organizations, as well as HCM forms and documents. Now moving right along, we have the research section. This contains a link to the history seminars and events and the digital archives. History seminars and events list all the related programs LTHS has led and been a part of. The digital archives contains links to your existing photo library. We will be building out this more in phase 2, so please stay tuned for that. So next up is the Ways to Help page. It features 3 ways to help: volunteering, donating, and becoming a member. All 3 of which we're going to look at more in depth now. Now to volunteer, we invite passionate people with skills or an interest in Little Tokyo to attend your next meeting and find out about potential upcoming opportunities. We also list information for the current and past meetings here. The donation page goes to your Make a Difference page. We have links to your EIN number, information to donate via check, and of course an easy donate button that goes directly to PayPal. On the right side of the page, we feature a slideshow that will automatically change from image to image. Below that is a showcase of your latest events. These will update automatically as you add more and more events to the site. It's a great way for people to really see the sorts of programs that their donations go directly to fund. Now, the Become a Member page is broken out into a simple two-step process. Interested people would start with step 1, complete the membership form. Once that is done, they would move on to step 2, to make their donation. LTHS would make sure both steps are complete and then reach out to the person directly for next steps. The publications page features information and links to your book, DokaV 100, and the Little Tokyo Reporter film. The news page contains your most recent events, programs, and stories. This updates automatically, so no additional editing is needed on the page. That note's mostly for Emiko, who I know is going to be in charge of maintenance moving forward. You've also got a button to view all stories, which goes to a drop-down archive where you can access your impressive list of projects by date and year. And then last but not least, we have the shop featuring the Hoppy codes, t-shirts, and tote bags, with links, of course, to purchase directly from LTHS. And then a few new things that we just added is a Getting to Little Tokyo page. It features an interactive Google map and link to the LTHS map, which we looked at earlier. So thank you, Jeffrey, for providing that really, really good suggestion. I think that's going to work out really nicely for you all. So also new is the downloads page, another place visitors can get to the map as well as your brochure. So there are a few more things in production that came out of my meeting last week with the executive committee. In the coming weeks, I will be working directly with a few of you to add a live Instagram and Twitter feed to the homepage. We are going to add the Finale Club and Little Tokyo Florist to the naming projects. And for your various sites, we'll either be adding a pin map or a list of addresses so people can look up where to visit the physical locations. We'll be adding a partner page, which will house the list of Friends of LTHS, as well as a list of the legacy businesses. We'll have an FAQ section. And as I touched upon briefly earlier, phase 2 of this project will address the digital archives. And then, of course, we will continue to make other revisions as needed. So hopefully that was a helpful overview of this site. I'd love to open it up now to any questions and answer anything else you might want to know about the site. So thank you so much for all of your questions. I'd like to thank the group again for listening and for all of your wonderful feedback. With us working together on this, I have no doubt your site is going to be fantastic when we do launch. Have a great weekend all and stay healthy.